Visit ccgcastle.com and get 5% discount on your purchase with TCG Center 5 code. Check video description or visit CCG Castle for more.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. Another day, another video, and today's video is really special for me because I'm actually a fan of the Lost March deck, and I didn't pay too much attention building it and posted it on my YouTube channel. And when the Emolga was released, I actually decided to give it a shot, but I was always busy with something, and I actually didn't have too much time to test the deck list, to make it to be good, so I can actually share it with you guys. So I ended up with building it once again with Emolga, and it's surprisingly very good. Also thinking about probably playing this deck at my future local league, at my locals. Probably I'm gonna play it in my next season. I definitely need to give it a shot because it's a very good deck. It's a strong counter meta deck if your meta is Zoroark with Lycanroc, Zoroark with Lucario, Zoroark with who knows what. If your meta is Pika Zekrom, and if your meta is Glacephalon, if your meta is heavily GX, then you're definitely good to go with the Lost March deck. It's not expensive to be built. The most expensive cards in this build are gonna be Shrines of Punishments. Cynthia is like $2 a piece, Marshadow is like $2 a piece, Jumpluff playset can be purchased for maybe $4 a piece, and $4 at the total, grand total, and Oranguru is probably maybe $6 or $7. Maybe he actually dropped down. I'm not quite sure because I didn't pay attention too much to Oranguru price because I actually didn't even play the Oranguru for a long time. Oranguru is definitely good in this build. It fits perfect, like Banana for Mankey. I mean, with Instruct we can draw cards till we have 3. Sometimes it can be bad if our opponent decides to play Guzma on it and we might not be able to retreat. It can be scary sometimes, but overall we can definitely benefit from it because we can throw cards with Ultra Ball and Lost Blender, and then we can simply draw cards until we have 3 in our hand. It's definitely good in my opinion. I didn't find more than 2 Marshadows to be useful in this build. 2 sounds like a sweet spot. 3 maybe a little bit too much, maybe a little bit not too much. It all depends how you looked at. Playing 3 Marshadows, you have greater chance to start with one. Playing 2 of them, you have greater chance that one will be prized. But I think that as long as we have Emolga and 6 Drow supporters and Oranguru, we can definitely go with 2 Marshadows in my opinion. The rest of the deck list is pretty much standard. 4 Hoppip, Skiploom, and Jumpluff with the Lost March, 3 copies of Natu, 4 Trumbics, so that's all pretty much the same. I added 4 Nuzlocke Gathering Emolgas with free retreat. And also good because it has -20 resistance to fighting, so it can also absorb some damage from fighting Pokemons. And also, once per turn we can search another Pokemon that has Nuzlocke and put it in our hand. So we can go for Emolga, then we can recycle that Emolga with Pokemon Communication for something else that we need specifically at that moment, or we can basically burn that that Emolga with our Lost Blender. Yeah, Marshadow is here for the Let Loose and Draw, as well as the Oranguru, and that's it. 26 Pokemons, a lot of them, but it's not too much because you actually need as much as Lost March Pokemon and any other Pokemon in your Lost Zone, so you can hit for 20 times each Pokemon in your Lost Zone. So with the Trumbic we can control the top deck that our opponent will have. We can actually see a little bit in the future. Potentially we can discard his supporter in the Lost Zone. So yeah, that's all for the Pokemons. I'm also running 8 energies, so 4-3-1 lineup standard for me. I'm still on 4 DCEs, 3 grasses, and 1 Super Boost energy, just because there's probably going to be somebody or somebody is definitely going to play Shackle, and once you face Shackle, you're just going to scratch your head and you're just gonna wonder how in the world I can actually one-hit knock out that Pokemon, especially if it's some kind of control deck, right? Potentially with Shrine of Punishment, you can do some damage to that Shuckle, but still, it's not gonna be super easy. Anyways, so yeah, for the setup, I'm running 4 Netball, 4 Pokemon Communication, and 4 copies of Ultra Ball, so I can have as best possible setup that's possible with this build. I mean, it's a 60 card deck. We already have like 47, 40, a little bit less than 50. Actually, we have a little bit less than 50% of our deck with Pokemons, and we have actually around 60% of deck featuring Pokemon in the energy cards, so it's really hard to fit in 40% of the rest of the deck trainer cards, and some of those trainer cards needs to be supporter cards, right? So maybe around 20% also needs to be supporter cards, so we don't have too much space for maneuver. So that's the reason why I'm running 4 Netball, 4 Pokemon Communications, 4 Ultra Ball, 2 copies of Lost Blender, and just 1 Rescue Stretcher, so we can recycle some of those Pokemons that we actually lost into our deck back or into our hand. 3 line of Cynthia and Lily. I actually noticed that some people actually plays Erika's Hospitality. It's a little bit too risky for me, mainly because if I start with it, if I go first, if I don't have another draw supporter or nothing, I can do nothing. If I start with a Lily, my hand is dead. I can still draw like 3 cards at my turn 1, so it's much better than playing Erika's Hospitality. In some mid to end game, mid to late game, Erika can be much more useful, especially if our opponent has a huge bench space created, but I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of Erika at this moment, as long as we have Cynthia and Lily, and the most important thing, 3 copies of Guzma. I think personally that we don't need more than 3 of them. We have a lot of flexibilities with Emolga and Jumpler for the free retreat. We can still probably one-hit knock out everything that's going to be in front of us in the early stage of the game, and then in the late stage of the game also we can just go with the Guzma for 2-hit knockout, for 2 prize knockouts, and that's going to be it. That's also going to be the deck list that I'm going to use in today's video, so you should definitely check it out. Make sure to hit a like and subscribe if you already didn't, especially if you're new to the channel, and also let me know in the comments below what you think about this deck list. And somehow I skip Shrine, so yeah, if you play against GX decks, Shrine is actually a good way to go. I mean, I was also thinking a little bit about Viridian Forest, but then I realized that with Viridian Forest I can also help my opponent. But with Shrine in some GX matchups I can actually benefit because I can force him to take more damage between turns with the Shrines, and I can actually have less Pokemons in my loss zone for the one-hit knockout against GX Pokemons. So that's the deck list. See you in the game. And we are finally back with a new 2.0 Lost March deck. I'm expecting actually a lot of fun with it. With new Emolga, this deck actually is even more stronger. It also has much more flexibility with that Nuzlocke Gathering, mainly because we can pick up another Emolga with Nuzlocke Gathering, and we can simply have that Lost Blender for it, potentially even Ultra Ball if it's necessary to discard that Emolga in order to draw some extra resources. Alright, so taking at my opening hand, not that bad. So I have Mountain Pass here, and unfortunately, I think I'm probably gonna get another Emolga here. I actually wish I had that Lost Blender, but unfortunately I don't. So I think this is gonna be a Ultra Ball play for it actually needs to be Ultra Ball play for some sort of Natu for now, and then I'm gonna put that Double Course Energy, Shrine of Punishment in play as well, or I can maybe wait for a moment, but let's just try to set up turn 1 as much as we can. A little bit too late, I should say, that Lost Blender came into my hand. Oof, this looks like a complete disaster, I need to admit that. As it looks right now, I think I'm gonna Ultra Ball. Oof, very tough decision. Lost Blender and that Natu, so I can grab myself another Hoppip. I'm gonna definitely look forward to set, if it's somehow possible, two copies of Jumplifts as for the turn 2. There's a Nazball, so probably for... it could be even for Eevee, but it's gonna be for Zapdos. And there's a Nazball number 2, which is gonna be for Jirachi. For my opponent, definitely best way here to go with the Guzma if he have, for that not to, quite obvious. You really want to get first prize card in a game, especially in one prize exchange deck battle. Yeah, I do have 3 double claws energies, but doesn't matter too much if I don't top deck something useful. So as it looks right now, I think for me the best thing is just to go with a Cynthia instead of playing that Marshadow. Looks pretty bad, but I actually managed somehow to get my Jumpluff in play. So that's something, right? Mainly because I'm ready for energy attachment. I can play that Netball, which can then be obviously for another Hoppip, and I'm good to go with Let Loose. I'm actually forced to go with Let Loose because I only have 3 Lost March Pokemon in my Lawson for now. So I guess I can go up to 5 with that Pokemon Communication. Good thing here is that I can still potentially draw something useful with my Instruct. But the bad thing is that I'm actually forced to play this Rescue Stretcher, so I can actually have greater chance to pull something with 2 cards instead of the 1. Alright, so we are good to go. I'm short for like 1 Pokemon for the knockout. That's definitely not good. Oh, what a save. That top deck was a Trumbeak. So I'm good to go with the knockout there. Free Retreat Emolga, always good to have. And we can Lost March. So 120. That Trumbeak top deck was actually Base Saver. I can call that as that. And the good thing for me right now is that I have Jumpluff on my bench with a Free Retreat if it's necessary, but I'm also gonna have that not too available in my deck as well. I'm just wondering where are my Lost Blenders, because I'm actually looking forward for one, so I can discard that Emolgas from my deck. He's ready to go with Escape Rope. I think in this situation I can give him my Marshadow. I don't need Marshadow, plus with Emolga I can at least use that Nazli Gathering, so for me it's that much better. I could maybe risk with actually a Wrangler in the front, but then I could potentially lose him because I know that he had top deck. Top deck was pretty much Electric Power, and I'm not quite sure why he didn't use that, to be honest, but I'm good with that. And very nice top deck. I think as it looks right now, I'm gonna go with... I think that Guzma is not a bad option, especially if I target his Tapu Koko on the bench. But good thing is that I'm ready to go with my Marshadow. I'm actually forced to go with the Marshadow. My opponent has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in his hand. Is it good to go with him or not? That's a tricky question. That's a really tricky question. I mean, I'm gonna be knocked out anyways next turn, so if I let lose him down to 4, I have greater chance maybe to force him to not get good resources. And also good thing here is that I can grab with Nazli Gathering another Emolga into my hand. But for now, I'm actually gonna Pokemon Communication that Emolga into some sort of Trumbeak, so I can control the top deck for my opponent and see potentially what the top deck card is gonna be. So the top deck card is going to be Lighting Energy. Alright, so at least I know that the Lighting Energy will be the top deck. Alright, so I'm good to go with the Lost March, which is already 200 damage, which is an enormous amount of damage with only one energy card. And it's not that I have something significantly important in my Lost Zone. Plus, I still have a couple Lost Blenders left. So as it looks right now, next turn is definitely Nozzly Gathering for another Emolga, and then Lost Blender for Skippy and Emolga. So I can draw an extra card and then simply go with either way, maybe a Rangru or with a Cynthia. So we're gonna see probably here a Volkner play for a Switch or maybe a Skateboard. A Skateboard would be much better. And still I'm losing this war mainly because my opponent has that price advantage. But I might be able to win this war after I knock this third Zapdos that he had, because there is no Rescue Stretcher so far for him. And this might be very important for me. However, there is Dance of the Ancients for the Eevee and for the Jirachi. Ooh, this looks so bad. So he is definitely trying to prepare his Jolteon for the GX attack next turn, which basically means only one thing. I can potentially benefit from trying to get Guzma knocked up against that Eevee. Or I can, yeah, I have two Guzmas, so I think it's actually not bad time to go with it. But if I really want to win this game, I'm actually gonna need to have that GX in play. So I personally think that for me is much better option Cynthia. Alright, so we get that double course energy, that's the most important thing here. So I'm gonna retreat. More than that. There we go with the Lost March, already 240. And the good thing is that I have also Guzma, and I pulled another one from my prize cards. Alright, so as long as he can put this Jolteon in play, this is going to be an important turn for me. Mainly because it's going to be 2 prize trade for 1. And that's actually something you really want to see. Because if you're traveling 1 prize behind your opponent, you definitely need to have that magic touch against your opponent. And he actually put Viridian Forest in play. So with Viridian Forest in play, I can also go for card discardment. For example, I can discard Emolga for Grass Energy, so I don't even need to burn my Nazball. Actually, Netball for the Grass Energy. Ooh, I'm actually kind of scared. Okay, I don't need to be scared actually here, because he played Stadium and he can Nazball for Zapdos, but that Zapdos won't be able to attack, so we're good to go. Alright, so everything is perfectly fine, except for this Absol, who might be a little bit problematic here, but I have answer for that Absol as well. I have Guzma, so I think I'm personally gonna go for the knockout versus this Absol next turn. I don't need to worry too much about Jirachi, not even about the next Eevee. So Swift Run, GX, as expected. We're gonna say well played to our opponent, because he did a tremendous job here with this attack. And I'm not gonna waste too much my time, because I'm definitely hunting this Absol, because this Absol might give me a head edge in the late game. I'm gonna put this Natu on the bench, just in case. Fun fact is that I can grab that Grass Energy, and I still have plenty of resources left, so I don't need to worry too much. Energy, Nozzly Gathering, once again just to see what I have left. So I have Guzma and 4 energy cards and Guzma in my hand, so I don't need to worry too much. I'm good to go for the Lost March. It's a 240, and I'm down to 2 prize cards, and I can actually win the game and end the game by knocking his Jolteon out at my next turn. So yeah, as long as he can't somehow shuffle my hand or throw out from my hand this Guzma, he needs to make somehow this Guzma magically disappear, and I think it's gonna be actually impossible for him to do that. However, that's the only option that he can try to win the game, but I think that's definitely it. I mean, it is it. So it is it. So Lost March probably can parry to Zapdos deck. It can definitely outplay Pika Zekrom deck. Versus Jolteon and versus Zapdos, it's a whole different story, mainly because it depends who start first and who take the knockout first. And it also depends if you can, follow your opponent with prize exchange from turn to turn, and if your opponent will play that GX Pokemon, then you can simply grab 2 prize cards. Deck list is very consistent, you can definitely see it. I mean, it works flawless, there's no doubt about it. And there we go with another Energy to Eevee, so he couldn't find a Rescue Stretcher for that Zapdos, which is a really bad thing for him. But however, he have Guzma, and he definitely decided to target my Ranguru. But that's it, because after that Lost March, Jumpluff is good to go for the knockout. So personally, actually he decided, okay, that's a very clever play, because, okay, I didn't expect him to do that. So, which basically means one thing, we're gonna go with Ultra Ball here for Guzma and for that Net Ball, and then we're gonna grab ourselves a Jumpluff. We're gonna go with that Jumpluff discardment into a Grass Energy, and then I'm gonna play a Net Ball, so I need that double Chorus Energy, otherwise this might be very bad thing. So I'm taking a big risk there, and I'm hunting this DCE for the retreat. Ooh, I didn't expect this turn to happen, but I managed to pull my double Chorus Energy, so that was very close game. So yeah, with the double Chorus Energy, I had option to retreat my Ranguru, and once I was able to retreat my Ranguru, I was also able to take the one-hit knockout versus his Jolteon with my Jumpluff for 240, because I had 12 Lost March Pokemons in my Lost Zone, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, unfortunately we cannot see the deck list that our opponent used in this video, but we can definitely go once again through our deck list. Yeah, the MVP in this matchup was definitely Jumpluff. He managed to do the most damage counters. We drew 44 cards, we played 60 trainers in total, and yeah, we had also a very successful setup with this build. Once again, there is the full deck list that I used in today's video. I hope you guys enjoy watching this video. It's definitely a short video. I don't want to put too many battles in play, because we all know how Lost March is actually meant to be. And yeah, I hope this video is gonna help you to decide which type of the deck list you should actually play in the future. So thanks for watching, we'll see you next time. So till the next time, have a nice day and goodbye.